Hello and welcome to the Loven Stamp Studio. My name is Meg, and contrary to what I think I told you in my recorded video on Thursday, I am here today. So excited to see you all. So make sure you say hi, comment, all those things where you're watching from, whether you're watching now or later. It's always so much fun to kind of just see how far out our community extends and get together to share some stamping ideas. So, sorry, I'm losing my voice this morning. So I am back from backpacking in Colorado, which was amazing and beautiful. We were out sort of in the mountains a little bit beyond Denver, the Guanella Pass area. And so had some beautiful, beautiful scenery and so forth that I got to spend with my son. But now I'm back in the studio for a couple weeks actually, and excited to get going on some really great cards. So the one I have to share with you today is another pear card using the Perfectly Pears stamp and die set, along with the absolutely beautiful designer series papers. I'm going to show you how to make a card when you are feeling like not exactly sure what you want to do, and you are looking at paper and going, well, this paper's pretty, but how should I use it? Today's card is the answer to that question almost every time, okay? So we're going to use paper as a background, DSP designer series paper. DSP is the abbreviation if you see that. We're going to use DSP as our background, and we're going to use DSP as our focal point, which makes this a super simple card to put together. So you could do lots of versions with lots of different papers. Let's see, what else do I have to tell you? We're getting close to the end of July, so this is getting close to the last chance for your to place an order to qualify for LovenStamps card kits to go and LovenStamps tutorials, of which one of today's project is one of the 4 PDFs included in that. More details, video description if you need them. And just announced free shipping July, starting tomorrow for 3 days. So today's the 27th, so 23, 24, 25. And so you will want to, now I'm like second guessing myself on that. So I'll look it up really fast in the background. Yeah, 23, 24, 25. So you're going to want to take advantage of that. It is your chance to get free shipping on orders, $75 and more. Remember, if you put Stampin' Rewards on there, it would reduce that, so you wouldn't qualify. So make sure you have that on top and you still qualify. Lori says, glad you're back safe and sound. Yeah, it was a great trip. I will tell you though that elevation, camping over 11,000 feet is intense. It kicks your butt a little. It's a good thing I was in New Mexico for a couple of weeks before that. So, all right. So free shipping, watch for that. And also, if you are looking for supplies, I really appreciate if you guys shop with me. I am this close to finishing off my my $1 million in career sales, which is a whole lot of stamps. And I picture that like piled up in a room. It's silly, but when I picture it with like $1 million worth of cards that have been made and shared and joy spread around, it makes me so happy. So I appreciate you guys all for being part of our community and for your support over all of these years. So if you need anything, it would be really cool if you wanted to help me out before the end of July. So we can celebrate together after that. I do have some fun $1 million celebration things planned, so watch for more information on that in next month. So, oh yay, Nikki knows that area in Colorado. Oh, it's so beautiful. There were lots of notes about like seeing the leaves and so forth. So it was beautiful and green, and the creek was flowing and so forth when we were there. It was gorgeous. I'll try and post some pictures. So you can see it. Thanks, Laurie. Okay, with that, I think it's time to start stamping. Are you guys ready for this card? It is a real winner. It includes some ribbon, some bonus things from DSP. It is oops, my camera is like falling this morning. Oh, I see what the problem is. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. Wait, if you get motion sick, look away for a moment while I get this settled. It's like my stand is there we go. Okay, now you can look back. All right, so like I said, we're going to use all kinds of things from this suite. So one of the great things about monthly tutorials that I offer you is that I take a set of supplies, curate them, and then give you many ideas on how to use them. So you know that you'll have all the pieces to make many different cards my suggestions. So that is something that I believe in. So when you get your stuff, I want you to make your cards, right? All right, so designer series papers. We have used a whole bunch of these. And one of the things that you'll note, usually with the Stampin' Up! Papers, is there is a side that is, you know, sort of like, I don't know, the decorative side. I think my friend Julie calls it the A side, the decorative side. But then there's like the background paper side, where there's a small print or one with little, very small amount of detail. It's just meant to be like a contrast to the patterns and the beautiful imagery that's on the front of the paper. Not that it's not beautiful, but you know what I mean. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to make the most of that for this card. And I have a piece of this designer series paper here that is 4 inches tall. I just realized, I think in the video description, I put 3 inches tall. It's actually 4 inches tall. And then it is 9 inches wide. So we basically have 3 sections that are 3 inches each. And so what I'm going to do is I've scored them at 3 and 6. And I'm just going to fold in a zigzag like this so that I have a pop-out panel here on our designer series paper. Okay. Now, since this is a pop-up panel, we of course are going to have to attach it to some things. So we're going to grab some of our card pieces here. I have a piece of Darling Duckling, which is one of the new in colors. Highly recommend this color if you haven't added it to your collection yet. And we are going to go ahead and layer this together. Before I do that, though, we are going to add some ribbon. Yo, hey, Tanya. Tanya's on a road trip. Oh, you're watching from the road? I will say the road trips that I've been on lately feel like we have not watched or been online a lot because there's so little service, like, I don't know, in the middle of Kansas as you drive across the state. So I'm glad there's service where you're at, Tanya. Okay. So what we're going to do before we glue anything down is we're going to go ahead and tie our ribbon. Now, one of the things that I love about ribbon cards, oh, hi, Kathy. Hey, Dorothy. Hey, Sue. One of the things I love about ribbon cards is when the ribbon does not fall off when it is opened, because it's part of the whole effect, right? And I love it when, you know, the person who's getting the card has a chance to sort of like retie it and appreciate how beautiful it looked. And anyway, maybe people don't do that. I don't know. Do you guys do that? I do. When I get a card from somebody that has ribbon tied on it, I'm always like retying the ribbon and like appreciating, you know, the finished like front of the card. So I figure it's easiest if the ribbon doesn't fall off, if it just stays where it is supposed to be. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and tie this ribbon here for us and use my paper snips to trim off the end. And I'm going to go ahead and attach this before with the ribbon on it so that now I know that this ribbon is going to stay where I want it to. So let's go ahead and pull in our adhesive, which probably is going to need a little clearing out because it's been sitting here. We'll see. Oh, nope, it's all good. All right, so I'm not going to adhere the ribbon, but I am going to adhere above and below it. So basically, this ribbon is going to be trapped in here. Hi, Joan. Good morning on the West Coast. So, all right, so we're going to go ahead and layer this on. And the Darling Duckling piece is 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 to give us a perfect mat for our element. Okay, so this is going to be the fold-out panel. And you can see now, okay, wait until your glue is dry. All right. Okay, talk amongst yourselves for a moment while I fix my card. Did I get this in the right place? Okay, so the danger, of course, is not waiting until your glue is dry. There we go, to mess with your ribbon. But once it's set on there, then you can untie it. Let's see, not rip it out from underneath. Hi, Bonnie, thank you. And now we have our fold out panel here, okay? All right, now we're gonna put this onto a regular piece of cardstock because we want this to be a regular size card that fits in the Stampin' Up! Medium envelopes. Envelopes are definitely a thing that I like to stock up on when you're thinking about free shipping over the next 3 days, and adding more envelopes to your order is always a good plan. The Stampin' Up! Envelopes are great quality. You can stamp on them. They accept ink really well. And they're a pretty darn economical way to get some really nice envelopes for your cards. So, all right. Oh, speaking of cards, I have mail bags to share with you today, so I'll show you some of those. So we just have a quarter sheet here for our card base. And then we have our focal point layer. Now, any of the pairs in this paper here can be cut out with the dies from the set. And I know I've been talking about the pairs lately because I love them so much. So I hope that you guys are liking them. And so you can cut out the pairs like this, and you can cut out the little pairs, the little double pairs like that, as well as the flowers and the leaves and so forth. So through the magic of television, I have this little friend here cut out. And then I actually also really like the pairs on this paper. The same one that we've used, it's the back of our panel. But these elements right here where they've combined the pears and the like cut fruit and the florals and the sprays, those I think are really beautiful too and totally worthy of a focal point. So I am going to take this piece here, which has a little bit of cutoff here, but we're gonna not worry about that. And I'm gonna go ahead and give it some fussy cutting and use this as the focal point of our card. So when you're fussy cutting, remember, I know some people hate it, some people love it. I honestly used to avoid it kind of like the plague, but I really have been finding it to be super helpful over the last, couple of years actually. I'm a convert, let's say. But what I like to remember is that I hold my scissors in one place. I pretty much never move them except to open or close. And I like to sort of close them in one continuous long line. And then I'm using my free hand over here. I know there's something very zen about this. So my free hand here to do the turning. And that means that I have a long continuous cut with a smooth edge because I'm not like turning and chopping up all of my pieces. Okay. So if you are thinking like, oh, I could try this fussy cutting thing, grab some paper, something that doesn't have a die, because obviously on the pear paper that I showed you earlier, you'd use the dies to make it easier. Now, I'm going to come to this leaf right here where it's cut off. And so I'm actually going to go in here and look for a place to kind of cut across that is very unobtrusive. Okay. So right there, can you see how I ended that little bit of the paper there? So now that little bit is gone and it doesn't look like I have accidentally cut off my paper. And same here, I'm going to cut right across the attachment point for that stem and grab, actually I'm going to cut in here. Oh well. Okay. And then I'm going to cut around this blue flower here to kind of eliminate that background. There we go. All right. We'll keep that cut fruit on there though. All right. So see how that works? So you can sort of creatively, as if that's a word, creatively omit parts of your element. And I promise that no one is going to notice them in your finished product. Okay, so now we have this fun focal point here for the front of our card. And we know it matches because it comes from the same place, the same designer series paper. And so that's going to be a really nice fit for us. Now, it's a little bit blendy in here, a little bit more than I like. And so I want to bring in something that's going to set that off a little bit. And this is where the pear dies come in clutch again with this really fun hatch die here. I posted a card the other day, a couple weeks ago. It was one of my early ones from this tutorial, this one here. It's actually one of the to-go kits for this month. And everyone wanted to know where this crosshatch die came from. So here it is. Here's the crosshatch die. It is in the pears set. So really, really easy to grab. And it makes a really nice contrast to all of this going on here. It's like heavy, sort of thick lined. And so we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a die cut of this. Now, we're going to go ahead and add a layer of wax paper on top of this. And I will show you why here in a second. Oh, Bonnie said she avoids fussy cutting at all costs. Maybe someday. Oh, I will wish that for you, Bonnie, if it works out. And if not, that's okay. Like there's dies for all the things. So I'm going to take my cardstock, my wax paper, and then my die over the top, and we're going to go ahead and run this through here. And if you have not rediscovered the joys of wax paper, when we first came out with dies way back in the day, you often had to use them. They were a different format. They had foam on them. They were a whole different thing altogether. And then we didn't have to use wax paper, and I got away from it. But I am totally back to using wax paper now because it just really makes things so easy to separate and pop through. And then things don't get stuck in your die. They just kind of fall out. And so it makes it a lot easier to do multiples of things in short order. So, all right, so we're going to take this now, and what we're going to do is layer this behind. And so that's really going to help our focal point jump out from the background. I'm trying to decide below or above the ribbon. I feel like, well, okay, we'll keep going and then we'll figure that out. But do you see how now there's like an element that separates? See, this gets a little bit lost. Now there's like a strong element visual here that separates these two elements, or separates the front from the background. All right, we're going to grab a piece of the Petal Pink cardstock, which is a nice contrast, and it repeats the color that is here in our flower. And Painterly Pears has some great greetings, lots of things on hand for when you need them. Some friendship words, some thank you words. Let's make this one. Let's just make it a thank you card. I like the pears for thank you. And then we're going to go ahead and use our Mossy Meadow pad, which is a nice strong green, same as our cardstock background. And we're going to go ahead and stamp this here. So let's see. I have a nice long strip. This is often the strip that ends up, that's a little crooked. The strip that you end up left off with when you're cutting card bases. Let's try one more time. And one of the things that I like, there we go, about it is that it's like not really waste. It's kind of scrap you had anyway. So you can get multiple chances to kind of run through stamping the elements that you need from that piece. All right. So now we have our hash and our thank you. I'm going to pop this one up here. I think we're going to move it up a little higher because we're going to have our ribbon that's going to come across. Maybe we'll have it overlap just a little there like that. What do you guys think? All right. Oh, Joan said when she first started stamping, we didn't have dies. Yeah, I know. Back in the day, that was definitely the case. All right, so we feel like we're pretty good with our placement now. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hold this crosshatch in place so I don't have to glue it at all. And I am going to grab my Stampin' Dimensionals and pop a couple here kind of above and below that are going to be hidden by our pear decoration. And then we're going to go, we'll add a little bit more. You want to make sure, I'm going to put them on our card base here. It's a little bit dangerous to put them on the back here because we have some overlap. And I don't want that dimensional to end up on the overlap here that would then glue to the background and glue our card shut, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and put those there on our background. Think about where your adhesive is going to go, and we're gonna pop this out here. Okay, then we have our greeting strip, which I stamped 4 times, so you'd think, haha, there, you'd think it would still be here. And I'm gonna pop a dimensional on the back of this. Here, the camera is going again, and place this one here on the horizontal. So it's going to go on the horizontal because that's where our ribbon is going to tie and our top and our bottom. So we want sort of this horizontal line to come across. All right, now we need a little bit of extra decoration here on the inside. And so what I'm going to do is pull some more of our Petal Pink cardstock, and I realize I don't have this cut already. No biggie. We're just going to cut some of it. I'm not going to worry about the size too much. We'll call it 3.5 inches maybe. Let me get that. There we go. And then we can always, yeah, that looks pretty good. I like that. So we're going to add this to the inside of our card to give ourselves a nice place to do our writing. And because the visual of this is so wide, if you wanted to, you could put like 2 panels on here. You could put a second greeting on here. You can really do kind of whatever you like. But we're just going to go ahead and we're going to glue this down for now. And then we're going to come back to our little mini pears that we also have die cut. So, all right. So we have our pieces here with these extra little pears to put into our card. And so what I want these to do is I want them to be part of the inside. Now, you might notice if you're super careful, hi Cheryl, that I cut off the edge of this. So this pear set right here was pulled from the top of the paper here. So kind of like this one where there wasn't a full image, but you can arrange these carefully to not matter at all. So if I pop this one out here like this, it's going to look like I just clipped off that tip there on purpose to coordinate with the top of our layering scheme here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to use that to our advantage. And I think I'm going to have this pear stick out just a little there so that it peeks out just a little from the next layer. You could actually maybe I'm going to drop it to this layer. There we go. Okay, yeah, I like that better. So now I have a clean line at the top, and then that continues our element there when the card is open. Okay. We used this one recently. I think the last video I sort of had like a quick pop-up video that I shared with you, and we used all those cut off pears. This is the one that I shared with you on Thursday. And we use those cut off pears here. So right there on the inside of our little peekaboo card to sort of make the most of this. So let's see. Bonnie says, any tips for glue worms throwing through your paper? That's a good question. I do know exactly what you're talking about. My tip for that is to use as little glue as possible. I know you said you're trying that, so you're moving in the right direction. Sometimes certain papers show it more than others. But like if you look at this one, this paper here, this DSP has obviously glue behind it, and I really don't see the glue worms on it. So when I use my glue, I always say, if you can see it, it is enough. So like, I really mean that. If you can see any white trail, it is enough. If the white trail is like bumped over, like it's got a hump on it, then that's really too much glue. The nice thing about the this liquid glue though is that it has this extra tip on the end, this squeegee. And so if I accidentally get too much on there, I can take my squeegee tip and just sort of mush it out so that it is a little less wormy. So maybe that's what I would suggest is like, go ahead and put your glue on, try to use as little possible, and then also do a little squeegee of it to spread it and flatten it. Oh yeah, what Joan's saying right there, use the fat end of the glue and spread it out. So yeah, it's really easy to use too much. And okay, so here are my tips for not using too much. This glue is nicely arranged with this big wide thing at the bottom, which means every stamper, every one of us inherently wants to just say, oh, I've used my glue and now I'll set it down because it stands up on the table, right? It stands up like this. So here's the problem with that. The glue inside here is going to fall all the way down, right? Gravity, it's going to hold it and make it fall all the way down to the bottom. So now when I go to use my glue the next time, I take off the tip, I turn it over and I squeeze, 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 and no glue comes out because unless this is totally full, the glue is all back here. There's a big air space here and nothing is coming when I'm squeezing until I'm holding it down this way. The glue suddenly falls down. I'm squeezing the heck out of it because nothing's coming. And suddenly there's like a lake, like a pool of glue on my project. Does this sound familiar? So here is my tip for avoiding that. When I go to glue, you'll see that I almost always tap a couple times. That's the very first thing I do before I squeeze this. I always tap. And so what I'm doing is I'm priming the glue into the tip of my multi-purpose liquid glue. And so now when I squeeze it, the glue is going to come out because it's right there. Okay, so it's much less likely to come out too fast because it's going to be predictably useful. The other thing is that I never store it like this with the wide tip down. I either will lay it down flat like this, and you can lay it down flat. The glue is not going to come out or anything when you're even with the lid off. Or I keep a little glass here. This is from a Stampin' Up trip to the Mediterranean we had a few years ago. And I will just store my glue in it. Oops. Store my glue in it like this so that my glue is always ready to go. like that. You can also, if it's not super full, you can store it like this with the lid off. I kind of just keep the lid on it every time, but now I have that there. So yeah, okay. So sidetrack on glue worms, but I think it's worthwhile. So, all right. So we're getting close on this one, but we do need to add in our embellishments. And like I said, I always try to sort of curate the supply list. So these supplies are all from this suite. This really pretty mossy meadow gold ribbon is from the Painterly Pears suite. The low profile sparkle dots are also from this suite. And so we're going to go ahead and we're going to add some sparkle dots here. And I need my take your pick tool, which has migrated in my absence. It's so funny, right? When you have the perfect tool for something, it means often that other people figure out in your family that there are perfect tools for things. And so then sometimes they migrate when you are not paying attention. Haha. Okay, this one's my fault though. There we go. Anyway, like when you're out of town, your tools migrate. Okay, so take your pick tool. We're going to use the putty tip and the slide and stick method here. And we're going to go ahead. I'm going to go with some green, I think. We're going to do slide. Come on. There we go. And add some of these really pretty embellishments. I really like things in groups of 3. They tend to pull your eye in a triangle. That means you're moving towards a focal point, and our greeting is our focal point. So I'm going to put these 3, 1, 2, 3 dots around our focus right here. Okay, so that sort of helps to drag your eye in. And it's pretty subtle. It's pretty subtle, but it is definitely there. All right, so let's go ahead and tie our ribbon again. Our ribbon, which will not fall off when someone opens the card. And now we have our very fun fold here. So yay, Cheryl leaves her glue upside down the shot glass too. Yep, so handy. All right, so here is one version of the card. Here is another version with, this was using just a little different section of the paper there, a little bit less surface area, I guess. For this, but either way, when you open your card, you untie the ribbon stays attached so it doesn't get lost, and then you have lots of space to write on the inside of your card there. So this is actually a pretty decent card. If you had a lot of people who needed to sign something, you could add more paper in here to have space available, or you could have more fold out patterns. I really like having the triple panel fold out, this zigzag, because it means that the front of your card is also visible when the card is open. If you put a 4th panel in, you can finagle the lines so that this is still in front, but otherwise you would end up with the front folded to the back if you had 4 panel. Anyway, you'll see what I mean when you try it. So yay. Oh, thanks, Trisha. Hey, Leanne, good to see you. Welcome back from Florida. All right. So we have, I promised you guys some mailbag today. Let me show you all 4 of the cards from this month though, just in case you hadn't seen them all yet. So we have the card we did today. We have this other card here with this really fun background technique and sort of the simple elegance of it. We had this extended Z-fold card, which sort of features the designer series paper. And this is one of the to-go kits too. Actually, both of these cards, you'd get all the supplies, consumable supplies for the cardstock, the DSP, the ribbons, and so forth, the low profile dots, embellishments. You get those in the mail as a card kit, and that is yours if you order at least $60 before shipping, tax, rewards, all those things. And then the last card here is the DSP card base that I shared, I think last week early, with that sort of negative space technique with the dies. Don't forget about that. And so those tips for using designer series paper as a card base. So you can go back and watch any of these videos really easily on my LovenStamps blog. They are all listed there. You also will get the PDF with any size order in my online store during the month of July. So don't forget free shipping tomorrow. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, free shipping. And if you use the link from this video description, then you're shopping with me, Meg, and I super appreciate that. So thank you guys. We'll see if I can get to my million before the end of the month. Yay, thanks, Kathy. Oh, Cheryl says she wasn't sold on this suite, but I'm making her rethink. Oh, I will tell you, the very first time I saw it was on the Stampin' Up! Incentive trip in Orlando. And I was like, oh, those colors are not necessarily my colors. But then the detail in the pears and like the options to make these colored pears and so forth, they just immediately hooked me right there. These cute little elements here with the multicolor. There's just so much fun art that you can do with this stamp set too. And then I had a couple bonus cards. This was a bonus one that I shared that you can get the video for. And then I think there's another one somewhere, but I don't see it here. So, all right. Okay, you guys ready for mailbag? Lots of fun things in mailbag. I'm going to share this card. So this came from my friend Doris, and I loved this right away. So as a card protector layer, she actually embossed the layer of cardstock that she put over her card to kind of protect the envelope from googlies and so forth. And then she has this cute little frog here with the googly eyes and then the pretty designer series paper background. So you don't even have to put a plain layer in there, but the nice thing about this is that it really helps to smooth over those bumps, and it means that you have that extra pretty factor too. So thanks, Doris. I have this card from my friend Sharon, which is a great way to use the A and the B sides of the designer series paper, the sort of the fancy side and the laid back side. So there's this really pretty floral side, and then this is actually from the back. So a great way to combine those two. So thank you. And then this one is from my friend Kelly, and Kelly had this designer series paper. This is actually I'm pretty sure, so Kelly will tell me if I'm misidentifying, but I think that this paper was actually from a demonstrator bonus thing that was like a perk that you could earn as a demonstrator. So it was kind of a cool deal. And the inside of our card here then is really pretty too. And so I do love that foxy paper, but I love the layers here and the coordinating paper, and then a really cute stamp set. So kind of a blast from the past is what Kelly was saying. I totally agree. But I do love the triple panel on this one. So thank you. And then I had a little treat that came in the mail here with some turtles and some little cute stamped music notes. Of course, I recognize this right away from my very favorite turtle stamp set. So this is really cute too. Do you see this little glass turtle here that's glued onto this card? So this is from my friend Leanne, and she made this really fun turtle overlay. I love the zigzag here, and the chance to have these pieces all together with our cute turtle. And then there's a little You're Turtly Awesome Lucky Little Turtle pocket friend here. So I love little things like this. So thank you so much, Leanne. Really fun to celebrate together. So, all right. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. I think that covers us. I will have more cards. I have another card for you on Thursday morning, and it actually won't be a pair card. I am 99% sure. So I do have other stamps in my collection right now than the pairs, but I have really been having fun with them. Let's see. Tanya said, so excited to reach the 1 million. Yes, I'm very, very close. Like by the end of the month, I'm thinking. So, if you're placing free shipping orders in the next 3 days and you go ahead and place those with me, then I'd be getting that much closer. So hoping very soon. And I do have some fun $1 million party kinds of things in mind for all of us. So you guys will have a chance to see those. But yes, thank you, Leanne. All right, guys, I think that is it for this Tuesday. Remember, it's actually technically midnight tonight, Utah time, midnight Mountain time, that you can start shopping with free shipping. And it's a great bonus to be able to get that. So go ahead and take advantage of it. All right, I think that covers us for today. So thank you guys for joining me. Happy stamping. Hope your week is off to a really great start wherever you are watching from. And I will see you again on Thursday morning with another Maker Mornings with Meg at 9:30 a.m. Central Time on the LovenStamps Facebook page. And then, of course, posted later on the LovenStamps blog and YouTube channel. So happy stamping, everyone.